2 of Brad Keselowski now onto pit road.
You see the number of laps. Right front wheel is.
Yeah, and you see the number of laps that Brad Keselowski ran. You're starting to see their hand there, Kelly, on how long they can run.
And it sounded like Brad maybe didn't. Oh, and you see he's just hit a crew member, so this is a disastrous stop for Brad Keselowski, who went through his pit stall. He didn't hear Paul Wolf, his crew chief, call him in the lap before, so they're a lap behind. And now just disaster as he went through his pit box. You saw the crew member get hit in a Tiger, go flying into the 2. They have had issues with pit stops before. It's one of the things that Paul Wolf told me they want to work on in these next 6 races ahead of the chase.
I'll take another look. Coming onto pit road and into his pit stall, he's just too fast.
Yeah, hope all these guys are okay. Obviously that was a big fall, but see all the brake dust on the left front wheel. I just wonder if they were using so much brake, and we're going to see a lot of brake dust here, but I just wonder if he's using so much brake that the brakes didn't work the way he was anticipating them to. You know, sometimes it's easy to, you're trying to get in pit road as hard as you can, you're trying to get your stall as hard as you can. The car just didn't get stopped. I mean, obviously it's, falls on Brad, but I just wonder if he didn't anticipate it because the brakes weren't working quite as effectively as he had planned on.
Sorry about that, guys. I just locked the front up and couldn't get him to come back.
There in turn number 4, so Darrell Waltrip will go to John Kernan first.
Bill Elliott expected to take on 4 tires. This is something they did not want to see.
Oh, look out, look out!
Oh my gosh! Ricky Rudd got tapped in, one of Elliott's crewmen, underneath the cars. He came flying in. Now they push Ricky Rudd's car away. Oh my, now they tell Ricky not to stop because Ricky did come in contact with a couple of crewmen. Now Bill sitting in the car.
We see Bill Elliott stop. We see the car go to work. Here comes Ricky Rudd. The car just spins, the rear wheels lock up, and he just slams into the right rear of the Bill Elliott car, and the right rear tire changer is in there. Also, the tire carrier, I believe, was hit.
Here comes Rudd's car in. You see the right rear tire changer did not know that car was coming, and the jack man was hit as well.
Folks, I'm sorry to yell, but, we know these people, they're family, and I saw it coming, and that's why I just...
And we have a huge fire on the pit lane. It looks like it's right down around the Eric McClure
We got a guy on
area.
fire too behind the wall.
Oh my goodness, a scary situation on pit road here at Richmond.
Safety workers were quickly there to extinguish the fire.
That's Brendan Gaughan's pit. I saw Eric McClure's, couldn't see who was on fire because of all the flames and smoke.
Wow.
Wow, look at the fuel, man.
We haven't seen a fire like that in a long time.
Anthony O'Brien, the rear tire changer, doing his job, and watch what happens. And we saw O'Brien while we were away in commercial being transported, and there were crew members all around that fire. Play of what happened on the Carl Edwards stop a moment ago. We showed it to you going to break. Colin Pawsey right here.
Yeah, he's just
front carrier
in the grill, but boy, to a driver, and he get his foot caught underneath that splitter.
Yeah.
And for a driver, normally when the jack is dropped, that's his signal to go. So Carl Edwards did what he's supposed to do, but he just didn't quite get out of the way quick enough.
Hard to believe, but he limped away and is doing just fine now, Marty.
Yeah, he limped away and he just did that pit stop again, Adam. And actually what happened is his left shoe got caught underneath the splitter of the car and actually had the left shoe. The shoe actually came apart. Look, the shoe came apart, and that saved him right there. The shoe came apart. He was able to walk away just fine. And you know what they were doing? He was pulling that tape we've been talking about for 10 minutes off of the grill, trying to get Carl Edwards' car a little bit cooler, but thank goodness to the shoe, everything was all good.
Laps ago, took his car into the garage area. Now here's Keselowski and Menard. With Menard going around. Now Jimmy Johnson is his pit. Here comes a sliding Paul Menard, and the crew goes right to work.
Yeah, Paul Menard's crew, they were able to go ahead and do this because, as you see, he is in the pit box even with that left rear tire. So what they did was perfectly legal.
However, Jimmy Johnson had to back up to get out of his pit stall and lost 10 positions.
Looking at Sam Hornish Jr. on the racetrack, watch this yellow car leaving its pit stall a minute ago. conditions are tight on the racetrack, they're tight on the pit road here at Bristol as well.
I don't know how many times we've seen that here. Coming out of your pit stall, just don't have enough room. Wow. That's a close call right there. I hope he's okay. Looks like he is. He's going around to finish his pit stop.
Right sides for Keselowski. Oh, contact there as David Rudiman was just coming to his pit stall.
Back it up.
Brad Keselowski came in 10th. Don't know how much damage he got there. That's a pretty good lick, though.
Oh, boy.
Kevin Harvick needs forward fight. They change 4 tires, reducing the air pressure. Fire in the back of the 29. He leaves the pits and gets out of here.
Now that's a burnout.
Fuel can.
But the fuel can, the guy threw the can down and it's on fire.
See the safety worker there attempting to extinguish the blaze.
Now pit road has to be closed right now.
We're still at a green, Benny. Now the caution comes out so they can close pit road.
The team has confirmed with me that it was a brake fire in the back of the 29 car that ignited the spilled fuel. Brian Engelhardt, the fueler, is okay. He just spoke to me, and everyone else in the crew is fine as well.
So the rear rotor was so hot that when they spilled some gasoline, it caught on fire.
Kevin Harvick is back on track. Dave, you got more?
Yeah, I just want to clarify, BP, the brakes were actually on fire, so they have a situation with the brakes. It wasn't just heat.
Oh, the brakes were on fire. Ooh.
During pit stops, things got even just a little bit odder. You see Clint Boiler peeling off to stop there to repair this right rear damage, and we'll show you how it happened. Danica Patrick is going to come out of her pit stall. Slew it sideways a bit. Whoops.
I can't explain that one.
Yeah, and Clint Boyer just got back on the lead lap by getting a free pass. Look at the damage on the left front of Danica Patrick. Right now, she's running in 18th position, and I think she might just be 1 lap down.
She is 1 lap down, but apparently she just got on it, and the thing with fresh tires on it just got loose, and she couldn't keep it out of the back of the 15 here.
Again, Juan Pablo Montoya coming in here 6th in the point standings. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. And as they head down pit road, let's go down to Vince Welch.
Well, Mark Martin has fallen out of the top 10. His car is not handling. Crew chief Alan Gustafson and Mark both agree we got to make some major changes. Mark said, let's take a big swing at it. They're going to make a wedge adjustment, and they're also going to get a rubber out of the left rear. That's how much this car is wicked for Mark Martin. They've got to make the changes. Dave.
Trouble on pit road for Elliott Sadler.
This car was actually on fire for a second.
The damage on the front of the 19 car, they come out to him, and he's still sitting there. Here's the 14 car, Tony Stewart getting repaired, Jimmy Johnson down and away.
Now, one thing that could have happened with that collision was that Montoya pulled in off the racetrack and tried to pull behind the wall. Could have created a log jam and all these cars trying to come down pit road.
And Sadler happened to be right there, and watch the move.
Not sure exactly how this happened. You see Montoya there. Well, actually, it's not even part of it. It's just a stack up there with the 96. Yeah, but
Menard, Sorensen, Sadler, and Waltrip. That's the chain reaction there on pit road, and Elliott Sadler got the worst damage.
Yeah, I just looked up and saw this 19 car on fire, and then saw this 42 pull into the garage. I thought maybe he caused it, but he was no part of it at all.
Sort of fitting the way Elliott Sadler may have ended his year. He could not buy a break here in 2009.
They've closed the pit road now because of this, because they've got a car stall. Man, there's a teammate.
43 with a ton of damage also.
Man.
Reed Sorensen looking for a job for a ride in 2010. Final ride for Richard Petty Motorsports. And they're working on the 88 car, trying to get that repaired. You heard the report about the toe end being out of line because he's bounced it off the wall a couple times.